let's start with Liverpool against Leeds. I mean, both these teams need a win to boost confidence after last weekend, the last few weeks. Andy, what will be key for this game? Because Jesse Marsch Leeds side, obviously the style's very similar to Salzburg. They played against Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool quite a few times in the Champions League. Did okay in those games, caused problems, scored goals. It seems like when these two teams meet, there's always going to be a lot of goals, usually for Liverpool in recent seasons, the way that Leeds has taken chances and pressed high. But they give as good as they get, right? Are we going to see more of the same at Anfield? I feel like this is a good time actually for Leeds to go to Liverpool with their confidence low after that defeat to Forest and some defensive issues. And Leeds basically have nothing to lose because nobody thinks they're going to get anything out of this game. So it works out okay for Leeds.
Yeah, let me ask you guys, watching Leeds lately, do you think they're lacking confidence? Because I really don't.
I think that one player is lacking confidence.
Sure, and that's fine. But as a team, I think the belief is still there that we take the field, we will compete. We will give them a game that they will not win easily. And nobody, aside from a couple of results, I suppose, but very recently, nobody has beaten them easily. It has not come easily, not even for Arsenal. And I think that performance that they put there, and I said it last week, that was such a good performance that I almost don't care about anything else that Leeds has done lately, because they showed what they can be under Jesse Marsch. And I think they will take that exact same approach into this game against Liverpool. And I don't necessarily think, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I don't think that Liverpool really want the tempo and the energy that Leeds are going to bring to this game. I think it's going to give them problems. I think those are the teams that have given Liverpool problems this season, teams that play quick and they look to create tons of chances, especially on the counterattack. So I see this being a lot more even than you might look and say, oh, Liverpool, in the top 5 or 6 spots, or I think they're 8th now, and Leeds down in the relegation zone. This should be an easy one. I don't think it's going to be that for Liverpool. I really do see this Leeds team, believing in not just Jesse Marsch, but the team and the squad and each other, and fighting the way that they had in recent weeks. They have not quit whatsoever. And I think that's the thing, not to continue the Jesse Marsch conversation this week. I think that's the thing that you see when it's time for this manager to go. The players are not doing what they've done from the very start. That's not happened yet at Leeds.
Yeah, obviously Jesse Marsch is under pressure. Leeds in a very different situation. No win in 8, 4 straight defeats in the Premier League, but been very close. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool obviously had those 2 back-to-back 1-0 home wins against Man City and West Ham, and it followed up with a defeat at Nottingham Forest, which was unexpected, even though they rotated the team. That was a pretty woeful defensive display once again. So they're kind of all over the place, but at home, Nick, they've at least been unbeaten this season. They look really good at home at Anfield, as always, and hard to beat. At least, they've been grinding out draws if they're not at their best. But my question for you, Nick, is more sort of a philosophical, tactical question. Is gegenpressing, is it sort of fading as a tactic? Because Liverpool are struggling this season. You've seen Klopp tweak the tactics a little bit, go to a 4-4-2 and just try and push the team back a little bit, pull them back a little bit. Leeds obviously having their struggles with getting caught on the counter in games. Southampton on the Ralph Hasenhüttl, hasn't really worked out for them this season. They've gone away from it. And in Man United under Ralph Rangnick, the sort of godfather of that whole tactical system, we saw how well that didn't work at the end of last season. So just got me thinking, when a Jesse Marsch and Jurgen Klopp team focus and face off against each other, that tactic is key to both those managers, but I don't know if it's really working anymore. Is that fair to say? Is that just a Premier League thing? Teams are getting better at figuring out the high press and playing through it? I mean, what's going on there?
Well, that's definitely true. Teams are getting better at playing against it. But when I look at even this Liverpool team, the reason that I think Leeds has a fantastic chance of getting maybe a point out of Anfield is because of schedule congestion. And Liverpool is asking people to, A, learn this system, B, play almost every game right now because of the injuries. And you need a perfect storm for a Liverpool to put forth the season they have in the face of a Man City, in the face of other teams like that. So I don't think it's out the window. I think teams have definitely got used to it. It's no longer I imagine if Liverpool was playing against a team that had never faced them before, it would look just as silly for the other team as they got used to it, if they got used to seeing it. But look, Liverpool went into Amsterdam. They played an Ajax team that I look at, they're struggling. I look at the names on their team, and I think maybe this is a mid-table Premier League team.
Yeah,
maybe. But they still dominated them. I mean, that game wasn't even really close. So this is interesting. It's I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, let me throw in just a quick stat here to kind of on the Gegenpress thing. Liverpool's kind of an old team right now. Their top 12 players in terms of minutes played in the Premier League this season, 8 of them are 30 or older.
Wow.
That's not a team that should be gegenpressing. So I think this is almost more out of necessity than anything. Klopp looking at, and we've only really talked about, and I think I've probably been the one that's brought this up the most, only really talked about this through the lens of Virgil van Dijk. But if you just look around the rest of the team, it's kind of happening everywhere.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's just, we talked about it before, right? When you see these teams that have been so glorious to watch and won so many trophies over the last few seasons, and when you start to just see it just disintegrating bit by bit, and then that well-oiled machine just needs one cog to be slightly out of place, and then it all comes, not crashing down, but just kind of comes to a juddering halt. And that's what it feels like with Liverpool now. And it's just, how can they patch it up? How can they use that experience to figure things out? But under the lights, Saturday night at Anfield, Liverpool against Leeds. Score predictions wise, I'm going to start, and then I'll come to you, Nick. I'm going to go for a wild 2-2 draw. I think Leeds have got it in them to go at teams that, like I said before, they have nothing to lose. I think Liverpool defensively is still a bit all over the place. So, I'm going for a 2-2 thriller. What are you going for, Nick?
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I do think it'll be close, and I think it's going to be hard for Liverpool to rally their energy, but Salah's looked a lot better lately.
He has. Andy, score prediction?
Touchdown and an extra point apiece. I was going to say 2-2 as well, Joe. So, it will be thrilling and entertaining.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.